It might sound really, really weird.
That would be a logical thing to say, don't buy it at all.
If somebody's mind is in the gutter about...
A lot of people are not really dealing with the problem.
They can have the best property on the market, but they will have the worst time because their mindset is not correct. Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. And today we actually have a completely different topic. It's not really going to be around real estate and mortgages. Well, a little bit. It won't be quite focused on it this time. As you guys can see, we have Varan, who you guys probably already know if you watch my channel. And today we have a special guest, Shah. Shah is a
Nutrition coach.
Nutrition coach, that's right. And the reason that it's actually both Varan and I thought about doing this podcast is because the business that we are in, we run across so many different people and we're seeing certain things change with people because of the environment that we're facing right now, right? So because of the higher interest rate environment, people's mortgages are like really getting up there. A lot of financial stress, even if people are carrying debts and stuff like that, they're finding it more expensive to service. Even people out there with rental properties, they're probably finding those a little bit harder to service as well. So we're finding that that's probably leading into other bad things. Like financial thing is one thing. And I think if you kind of listen to some of the videos that we've done in the past, which we'll touch on some of the techniques, is like you could try to manage some of that stress and mitigate some of it. But even with that, we're finding that it actually starts to affect your mental and physical health at the same time. Yeah. And I don't think I'm any exception to that either. Like, we go through a lot of stuff as if you guys, like I said, if you watch my channel, you guys know that I kind of have a bunch of properties, a bunch of different things going on, and I get stressed out about those things too. And my eating habits and whatever are not that great. And I do fall off the rails and whatnot. So, we're always trying to catch ourselves and trying to put ourselves back in, but we can always use some kind of advice of how to go. And Varan had a very good idea of bringing Shah on. How do you guys kind of have a relationship? I'll kind of start it off over there.
We know each other for almost a decade.
Yeah, almost a decade.
So I had the same problem, stress eating, not staying healthy. So one of my best friend introduced Shah and I.
Yep.
And we've been working together for some time and we have done some business. So he's always a mentor. I always reach out to Shah. Hey Shah, I don't have time, but I want to be healthy. What can I do? So eating. So he started with eating healthy, nutrition, food, stress management.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So basically kind of gives you cheat notes of what to do to kind of...
The best thing I like about Shah is he understands the busy life I have.
Yeah.
And he works around it he create plans that allows me to do what I have to do and still stay healthy.
So are you like calorie counting based on your plans, or like how are you kind of managing that?
Yeah, it's not so much about a calorie counting as though using Varan as an example, I understand his lifestyle. So I customize a plan or I ask him questions to understand his lifestyle. Like, okay, I know his job is very stressful. I know that sometimes he has to go to work very early in the morning. So based on that, I have created plans for him that's conducive for him to do what he has to do in the office, but at the same time, maintain a healthy lifestyle, focus on self-care, focus on sleep, focus on nutrition, and of course, exercise. Now, when I'm talking about exercise, I'm not talking about like a rigorous 6 days a week exercise. So exercise that he's able to sustain for a very long time, nutrition plan to follow that he can sustain for a very long time. So that's what we have worked on.
Right. And actually, I remember Varan was saying that because he ends up doing a lot of client lunches or dinners or things like that. Like there's also things that he mentioned, which was interesting to me, is that you can actually kind of suggest certain things to him that, okay, you can, if you're going here, you could eat this or avoid that or whatnot. Yeah,
no, that's exactly it. So whenever he goes out to a restaurant, he lets me know where he's going. I look at the restaurant menu, or if I'm already aware of what sort of food that place serves, I give him 4 or 5 different options. I say, eat these. And sometimes I tell him if he needs to work out extra, couple of minutes rather.
Yeah.
He does that, but mostly focusing on food because it's such a fundamental aspect of staying healthy.
Yeah.
And it also stress-free for him,
right.
that he knows that I looked into the menu and he just picks an option that I give him.
Right. But how do you find it though? Like, I mean, if you're getting kind of like these recommendations from Shah, like, are you finding it like it's easy enough to do, or?
Yeah, I found it easy to use. As you said, I don't have time to go to gym 6 days a week, 7 days a week. And also my job involved in a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
So eating healthy is extremely hard because it's hard to do a prep meal and take the prep meal to the lunch meeting. Let's say you and I go for lunch. I can say I'm going to have my prep meal in front of you. Yeah. So giving those kind of advice, so it doesn't stop your lifestyle or it doesn't stop your workflow, but it still allows you to stay healthy and eat nutrition food rather than going and eating some junk.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of move on from this, what I find with myself is that when I get stressed out or whatever, and I have a lot going on, I'm grabbing the stuff that's most convenient to me. And I always tell Ima not to bring these things into the house because I am absolutely the worst. Okay. And so this is some practical advice I need. Okay. So basically, if there was a bag of chips over here, I cannot eat 5 pieces of chips. I'm going to clear that bag. Right. So if it's there, I'm going to clear it. What do we do about these things? I guess your first advice would be not to have it at all. But just don't buy it at all.
Well, yes, that would be a logical thing to say. Don't buy it at all. So if it is not in front of you, then you're not going to have it.
Because I have to admit, there was a leftover chocolate chip cookies and some other cookies she had in a Ziploc bag this morning. They're not there anymore.
Yeah. No, but the advice that I like to share is that, yes, let's just say don't buy it, but there are a lot of, in a lot of situations, let's say it's at home. It's there. It's around us. It's there. I guess the idea is how do we deal with the situation or the food that's around us and be able to make a healthy choice. So my go-to advice or what I have implemented successfully in my lifestyle, in my personal lifestyle, is eat high-protein food. Keep high-protein food around you. Eat high fiber. Vegetables with high fiber, or you can take fiber supplements. So it keeps your body full, keeps your sugar level low. So that's one of the reasons that you can take 1 or 2 chips, but it doesn't stop there because as soon as you eat that chips, your sugar level increases. Okay. So you want more and more to keep it high.
That's what causes that craving.
That causes that craving, right? Yeah. So, but if you eat high protein food and if you eat fruits and vegetables or fiber supplements, then it keeps your blood glucose level under control.
It basically crave for those things.
So your craving is under control.
I see.
So if you are a busy business owner or if you have a very busy lifestyle and you're always constantly on the road, my recommendation would be to keep protein powder with you or keep a couple of slices of cheese or maybe raw almonds or walnuts, things that are very dense in nutrition, so it keeps you full, or maybe a couple of slices of vegetables that you can keep around you.
Sounds like all easy enough things to kind of carry with you if you're traveling around, though.
That's the ideal goal. I mean, the way I look at it is if you spend 20 minutes cooking an elaborate meal and you already have a very busy schedule, maybe you can do it for a couple of days, but let's think about sustainability. Is it really sustainable for a busy person? No, it's not. Like if you're really busy and you don't have time to cook, then I recommend that you focus on food that are high in protein and high in fiber and that are also healthy, will keep you full for a really, really long time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think, the thing is that say in my business, your business, and even getting fit and everything else like that, basically all of the information is out there. Whatever information we want is already out there. It already exists. Yeah. The thing is about implementing it, right? Yeah. So most of us, I think most of us don't really have good eating habits, right? So what would you say? What is the key to kind of changing this thing around? Obviously, in terms of your mind, you must have already made a decision to say, okay, I got to change something. But that change is really hard, right? Because you're used to having something quick and whatever else like that. What are your recommendations in saying, okay, how can I make this change? What's an easy way to ease into this?
Yeah, I would say focus on, let me preface this by saying that when we think about nutrition or making any lifestyle changes, particularly exercises, we're thinking about, oh, I have to do 6 days a week or 5 days a week. I have to go to the gym for 1 hour or 1.5 hour, whatever timeline, because that's the perception that's created. However, the way I look at it is that the body is made to move. So we have to make sure that the body is constantly moving. Okay, so you can do 10, 15 minutes, but it's not the amount of time that you spend in the gym. It's the intensity that matters. So I like to focus on the intensity of your workout as opposed to the length of your workout, because you can get a really good, decent workout in within 15 minutes or 20 minutes. When it comes to food, we think that healthy food doesn't taste good, or you have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen preparing the food. That's not it. I already gave you some examples of quick food that you can. It all comes down to preparation. And the third component of sustainability is accountability. You need guidance. You need someone to hold you accountable to your goal, because everybody's busy, especially busy business owners that are like constantly on the go, on the road. They need someone to help them, bring them back on track again, because people sometimes, reality is that people sometimes fall off track. It happens. It's just the way it is. But you need accountability to bring yourself back on track, to make sure that, okay, these are my goals, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, Varan, you've kind of done some of this program as well. Like how have you found it to kind of like transition? Like, because I know, like, back in the day, we used to grab whatever and eat just about anything. But like, how have you kind of changed it a little bit? Because I know we put a tray of goodies out here before we started recording, but I barely saw you touch it. Shah didn't have anything. He had the most control out of all of us.
I think it's just come to. I think what Shah coaches is practical. Like, you're not going out of the way, and you're making special. Like, it's about self-control. As you said, I'm like, have a couple of slices or whatever, couple of snacks, and you stop it, right? It's easy to follow. That's why I was able to keep up. If I follow what he tells to 100%, I would have seen a huge results. But sometimes it's hard to stay on track.
Yeah.
But what you touch on, eating on the go, that's a problem for most of the audience. I'm sure some of the real estate agents and the mortgage professionals who's listening to this, that's the biggest problem.
I mean, that's actually one of our biggest audiences too, right? Like, I have a lot of realtors that follow us and watch some of our stuff, and you have a lot of realtors and mortgage brokers. And it's true, like, we are so busy and we're running around, and especially kind of in this market over here, right?
Working even harder than before.
Working even harder than before, and like, everyone knows, like, the sales are down and whatever else like that. You know, everyone has bills and everything else to service, right? At the end of the day. So now we're going even harder at this, and I think that's why it was an important time to actually bring you on, because since we are going even harder. At the end of the day, we're all doing this because obviously we have bills to service. And I think that if you're an entrepreneur or a business person or something else like that, you may have bigger aspirations to do something else and whatever else like that, right? So the thing is that I think you have to have a proper direction of where you want to go, and that has to be your goal. For me, I used to always kind of just have my goal in like kind of finances, and I want to get to this spot and whatever else like that. And I'm not saying like I'm completely there where I wanted to be either, but the thing is, what I neglected was actually what I was eating, how I was taking care of myself and whatever. And even when you get a little bit of slice of, like, let's call it finance or a little bit of financial like freedom or whatever else like that, it kind of took me back and started to think about it and say, hey, it actually wasn't like, it's a good thing that you have it because you can take the time and kind of think about some of these things, but it actually highlighted how much more important my health is to me, right? Because the thing is that why am I doing what I'm doing today? And the thing is that all the goals and everything that I'm trying to achieve, if I actually don't take care of myself, even if I achieve that financial future, if I get a yacht, if I get a Lamborghini, if I get whatever, like these wild goals, do you know what I mean? Am I going to be physically fit enough to actually enjoy these things, right? Like, even I start to think, like, I turned 40 this year, so I start to even think that, hey, like, listen, like 40 I think went by very fast to me, right? Next thing I know, I'm going to be 60 years old, and what kind of condition am I going to be in? If I'm going to work so hard for the next 10, 15, whatever amount of years, am I going to have that energy, the flexibility in my body to be able to go around, travel, and do all of these things and enjoy what I've actually worked for and enjoy that time?
Yeah. No, working with very busy professionals, of course, one thing I've realized that when you are under pressure, or you're going from one client site to the other, people forget to drink water. I wanted to highlight that
It's a good one.
that you have to keep your body hydrated. What happens is if you don't keep your body hydrated, then your muscle starts to stiffen. And on top of that, if you are under stress, that's where once the muscle starts to stiffen, we feel back pain, our shoulder joints, lower back pain, muscle ache, headache, this and that, neck pain, and we're constantly in front of the computer working. So by drinking water, it actually put fluids in your body, keeps your body hydrated, and keeps your muscle loose. And of course, stretching is, I cannot stress that enough, how important it is to stretch every morning after you get up, to do a quick light stretching just to get the blood flowing in the body.
You know what, man? Two awesome points you brought forward, okay? Because, I mean, I'm doing research and I'm trying to figure out how to get myself moving and keep myself in shape. So first thing about like water and whatnot, like what do you think about like hydration, like powders and stuff like that? I think I picked up something like a BioSteel, it's called, or whatever else like that.
Yeah, it's electrolyte.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything against it, but I come from a school of thought that wants to focus on pure water.
Okay.
Now, if you have trouble drinking water, it takes practice. I'm not going to say that even for me, it came to me easy. I'm not going to say that. It takes a lot of practice, but I had to strategize it. Instead of using cups or mugs to drink water or glass to drink water, I bought a 1 liter bottle. And if I go through, let's say, 2.5 or 3 liter, three times if I have to fill it, that's three liter. To me, I'm like, okay, I met my goal. If I'm working out on a particular day, of course, I'm drinking more water.
Yeah.
You need more water to keep yourself hydrated. So that's what I tell everybody, that if you're busy, instead of trying to guess, okay, how much water I drank, how many liters I drank, buy yourself a 1 liter bottle. And it's easy. You filled it up 3 times, that means you drank 3 liters.
So just to touch on that, you don't think like that those kind of like electrolyte supplements or whatever adding to your water is actually really necessary as long as you're consuming the correct quantity of water?
I mean, I don't have anything against it. If this helps you drink water, you want to add a 0-calorie flavor to it, it's all fine. But do you absolutely need it? No, I don't think you do.
You know what? I actually, and correct me, right? Because like I actually started to use it because what I was pitched anyways on my social media researching is that it actually helps you stay hydrated better. Does it have any truth to that?
Water's keeping you hydrated.
Okay, so it's not really anything.
No, it's adding flavor to your water,
Sure.
so you may be, I guess, more encouraged to drink more water, or
Sure.
if you like a flavor, you may want to, instead of grabbing a Diet Coke, you may go for that water, or going for a pop. Instead of going for a pop, you may drink the water because you like the flavor. The idea is that I also, one of the things that when I coach Varan, one thing I like to tell him all the time, that don't worry about all the micro details. Let's focus on the big picture, because I'm a very big picture person. So the idea is for you to drink water, and water is 0 calories. And if you have trouble drinking water because it requires practice just to get you into the habit of things, if 0-calorie flavored water helps you, then that's okay. Because the idea is to keep your body hydrated, and you're doing that, so you met your goal.
Fair enough. Okay, good to know. The next thing you talked about was stretching, and I actually was talking to somebody this year as well, and they're kind of like just over their 60s or whatever else like that, and he was actually telling me how important stretching is, because he's like, at my age, he's like, I drop my pen on the floor or something on the floor, he's like, I got to decide. if it's actually worth for me to make the effort to pick this up right
Yeah.
now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it actually encouraged me to actually get into stretching. Like I know, like I'm on and off. Like I'm that guy that will go so hard on working out and whatever else like that for like 2-3 months, and then I'll fall off for 2-3 months, and then this is a vicious cycle that I'm always trying to improve. Yeah. But I never, like, I know I'm supposed to stretch and whatever else, and I used to do a bunch of running. Like every Sunday I used to go 10-kilometer runs and whatever else like that, because I was trying to like bring my time down for no apparent reason. But I know I'm supposed to like stretch and whatever. I never did it up until now, and now I'm actually finding that it's kind of cool because it's challenging, right? Because like I could barely touch my toes and whatever, and then like after like 2 weeks of doing it, like I can grab my toes now or whatever. Right. So you can kind of see that bits of improvement, but I can notice like in my movement and everything else like that, I don't get that stiff anymore and whatever else like that. But it is actually helping, and just some very simple stretching actually went a very long way.
Yeah, I cannot highlight the importance of stretching because you want to avoid injuries. Yeah. And that's the primary cause of injuries because muscles are tight. You extend that particular muscle. Yeah. Because and then you pull the muscle or you pull back pain or you pull your back or neck. So the types of strategies that I like to implement around stretching is that after you wake up, I recommend that you take either a hot or cold shower or alternate between hot and cold, and then do your stretching. Okay. It allows your muscles to relax, especially if you take a hot shower. Right. Okay. When you wake up, your body's cold, so I don't recommend that you stretch immediately after getting up. Okay. Because you may actually pull your muscle down. Okay. Take a hot shower or warm shower, and then let the muscle relax. Drink some water, and then stretch. But it doesn't need to be really long. It doesn't need to be very complicated stretch or anything. Just a simple stretching that you know, or you can download a video from YouTube that you like doing. Yeah. Of course, your bigger muscle groups such as your hamstring, quads, those you need to stretch to make sure that your lower body is strong. Yeah. Okay. And of course your back, chest, and those areas that wouldn't take more than 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think I'm using this app. I forgot what it's called. But it's like 7 minutes, and it completely stretches out your entire body. There you go. And whatnot. And doing it consistently, you can really see an improvement.
For sure.
Yeah. Like within 2 weeks, I think I can see.
Yeah, and it also will help you with your speed when you run because your muscles are loose, and you'll see better growth because when the muscle is stretched, it's firing up properly. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So we are doing this podcast because of the environment and like a lot of feedback that we're getting and we're all kind of getting of like how people are stressed out. And like what I want to do right now, if it's okay with you guys, like let's just kind of run it from the top of where we end up to kind of this conversation over here. So basically, like where Varan and I are at, like we're basically seeing it almost frontline where people are getting very stressed out because of the interest rates and whatever else like that. And some of the people that are on variable rate mortgages, either if they were with Scotia, they kind of started to see the impact on their mortgages right away. And I think most people, if not all people at this point right now, if they had a variable rate, they've already hit that trigger rate, and their banks are pretty much calling them and saying, you got to increase it because your amortization is going out of whack. So they're feeling the pressure of this. And I guess they're feeling the pressure also is because we don't really know when it's going to stop, right? So you're kind of left in this unknown spot of like, where is this stress ever going to stop? Is my life ever going to go back to normal, whatnot, right? So I guess like for you, Varan, like you're getting calls like this all the time right now. Like, so what are your suggestions to people that are in variable rate mortgages that are like, hey, I'm really stressed out over here?
I think the issues are not only with the variable rate mortgages. I think it's overall. Most of the mortgages are coming up for renewal as well.
Well,
right?
I guess that's a good point because like I forgot exactly what the stats are.
I think it's 9 billion worth of mortgages coming up for renewal.
Like I think it was like I forgot. 2024 was like 15-20% roughly of like all major banks or something like that.
Yeah, and also a lot of low rate mortgages back in 2020, 2021
they're coming up for renewal, and
as
then
well. 2025
is even going to be even more.
Yeah. And also keep in mind, average size of the mortgage is only 2.3 years, even though you take a 5-year mortgage, because everyone go through the financial needs and refinances as well, right? So most of the time, everyone wants to do a refinance to pay off the debts. Now they cannot even qualify for the mortgage what they qualified for.
Can I stop you there for a second? So you're saying like what you've seen was with some people, like when they come to do a refinance, it's really to clear like consumer type of debt or
Unsecured
like
debts,
unsecured
like a personal borrowing, line of credit, credit cards.
So that's got to
school.
add a lot of stress. Like when you were kind of relying on going back and refinancing to get rid of this headache, and now you can't even do that.
Exactly. So the usual was you buy a house, the values goes up, you can requalify, pay off the debts. Now you can't even requalify, and those payments keep going up. The line of credit payments are going up, the prime rate has gone up. And if you don't qualify, you had to go non-traditional way of borrowing money to keep it going. And those are high interest mortgages, like a private mortgages, second mortgages. So a lot of people, like we get calls every day, like even today I had a call. I need the money yesterday. But I'm like, why are you calling me today?
Yeah.
You need to do a proper planning,
Yeah.
right? We were actually making a comment how urgency people need the money to save commitments they have,
Yeah.
or even to save their house.
Yeah.
To the point like people are pawning jewelries to keep the mortgage payments going. We talked about in the past as well,
Yeah.
right? So these things are adding a lot of stress.
You know what, Varan? There's one other thing I kind of forgot is like because a lot of people, when the market was kind of going well, a lot of people got into pre-construction, buying pre-construction deals too, and I think that's probably a stress for a lot of people. We've seen a lot of these assignment sales come up
values
where
has
people are
dropped.
like, "Hey, we're ready to walk away from our deposit." I saw someone with a detached double car garage home on a private post that basically had a $200K deposit, and they're like, not only am I willing to walk away from the 200, I'm willing to throw another 100 into it if someone wants to take this thing over. Like,
Or they have an option to burn down the subdivision.
I think we've seen some of those things happen too, right? But like, I mean, if somebody's
It's a
in these
biggest issue. It's
situations,
one of the significant issues going on right now.
so like, I mean, all of these situations happen, right? So like, where are you telling people to go? Because what I want to try to do is I want to try to frame it all, right? So basically the thing is that it has to do, what we're talking about here is health and wealth, right? So the thing is that what can someone do to kind of get themselves out of that situation right now and try to preserve as much wealth as they possibly can? And then we're going to circle back and basically say, okay, you can execute this financially, and then you can come back and try to take care of your health at the same time. Because even before you answer that, because the thing is that maybe we're even doing it backwards. Because the thing is, I think that if you start to improve your health, I think your mind is going to work in a better way, in a more stronger way that will help you to get through the stuff that you're going to tell us about right now as well.
I think a lot of people are not really dealing with the problems.
Right.
So they're just trying to put the bandage.
Yeah.
So they know the bandage is going to get ripped one day. The consequences of ripping the bandage is going to be even worse than putting the bandage to solve the problem. And that causes stress, and that's caused into a lot of bad behaviors, drinking problems. I'm actually seeing friends, families who's going through these kind of things, right? If you know you cannot afford, you know things are going to come and bite you, deal with the problem right then and there. To the point where you said they want to give a deposit and walk away from the thing, it's the right thing to do. Maybe the client or your client may lose $300,000-$400,000 right now, but is the right solution right now.
Yeah.
If we cannot close on a property, you walk away from a property and deal with the consequences right now. If you don't deal with the consequences, you are going to deal with the consequences in the near future.
For sure, yeah.
And also, it's affecting your health as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even talking about that, it's like, you know what, like people that know that they have mortgages that are going to come up next year in 2025, I think like people need to actually get ahead of it. So like maybe they can start planning right now. You know what I mean? Like if they have a rate there of like 2%, 2.5%, whatever it is. And I mean, come on, right now, what is it? Like 6.5 points or something like that?
Average, you're looking about a 6% on a high level.
Okay. So then like, I mean, what's our best case here? Like, I know we're going to get lots of hate for this, but what's our best guess in like a year from now? 5.5, 5, something like that.
Anywhere from 4 to 5%, let's say.
Sure.
It's still double of what you're paying right now.
But I'm saying is like, if you're going to have something happen to you like that in 2024, 2025, I think you should kind of get ahead of that right now and say, hey, I shouldn't sit here cozy and hope like Trudeau's balances, the budget balances itself, because I don't think that's going to happen. So I think maybe you should even kind of get ahead of this whole thing, maybe talk to a mortgage person and say, hey, like, how do I kind of deal with the situation?
Some people actually being very proactive, they are borrowing money to add a basement apartment.
Yep. Good.
So, you know what? kudos to you. You know what? You know the consequences are going to come in. You cannot keep up the payment, and they are dealing with the problems right now. And some people, they cannot. It may sound rude, but if you cannot afford it, you probably need to come to the solution. Either you downsize or you sell. And a lot of people are having a problems having investment properties. Tenants are not paying on time. Tenants are below the market rent. Tenants are saying they are losing the property. So if you have those problems, deal with it, in my opinion.
So I think that's what we're really saying right now is that, like, look, like everyone more or less, if you guys are in this situation where they have properties or investment properties or whatnot, they should be keeping a pretty straightforward, at least a simple balance sheet or whatever of what's going on. They could pretty much see what's happening. But I think, like, what you were saying is that, and we've talked about it before too, is like you should basically nip it in the butt right away. 100%. Like, so if you're starting to see that you're going to have some kind of a problem, you should be proactive about trying to deal with it, right? Like, even if you're seeing that your mortgage in 2024 or 2025, it's not going to happen. Like, I think you should start to take action on it right now. Whether it be that you got to sell it right now, or you got to put in that basement suite so you could rent it out and start getting that rental income, or if you could have to sell your investment property. And another thing that we've talked about is that I think a lot of people are afraid to make this change because of how society is going to perceive them, how their family is going to perceive them.
That's a big thing. A lot of people don't want to do any right decision.
But at the end of the day, who are they harming? Do you know what I mean?
They're harming them and their family.
Yeah, exactly. And if somebody's going to look at you that objectively from the outside, they're going to look at you no matter what happens. You know what I mean?
They're
Whether
not
you
paying
do
your
good
bills.
or bad, right?
They're not paying your bills.
Yeah, if you're doing bad, then they're going to be like, yeah, like, look how bad that person's doing. If they're doing good, they're going to hate on you for doing good, right? So that person's narrative is not going to change. So I think at that point, you got to really be able to protect yourself and say, hey, what's best for me to do at this point?
We get a lot of calls on a weekly basis. It's affordable problem. They're borrowing money to keep up the mortgage payment.
But how far do you go with that, right? Like, I mean, sometimes we suggested that, hey, it might be okay to do that, but like, where is that line of where you kind of say like, hey, you know what? Like, I really gotta get right over here before I get myself into trouble.
Because some people have a plan B, like they have a property they are for sale, so they just want money for a short term. But some people, if you take a private mortgage, or if you take a second mortgage, how are you going to pay off the second mortgage? You're going to keep paying the interest and a high interest, right? And they don't have a well planned. They don't foresee the future, how to overcome this. So they just want to deal with it right now. To keep the property.
And that's basically the wrong move. If you're just trying to like think about today and next week and next month, it's probably not the right thing. Like, look, earlier this year, we had a client that was kind of like, they got into buying a property, detached double car garage home because it looks nice to the family because they came out from a smaller place. This looks really nice. Their whole family was impressed that they were able to buy this thing. But little did they know is that the wife is going to work at night in a factory assembling whatever. This guy is working construction during the day, then going to work at the restaurant at night and whatever else like that. And it basically, like, they're pouring like 80% of their net earnings into just servicing this thing. And you know, they just wanted to keep going just so they can keep up the show. But that's leading to a lot of pressure and a lot of like a lot of stress and bad habits are being created out of all of that.
And I think a lot of people are emotionally and they're worried about the society. You referred a client a while back in the verge of losing the money, house to the power of sale. And my answer was, what's the interest rate you're paying right now? 2.5%, 3%. You know what's the interest rate on a private mortgage? It's 10, 11%. If you cannot keep up the payment on a 2.5%, 3%, how are you going to keep up the... And he said, you are right. I think I need to sell. Trust me, as a mortgage broker, I want to get a mortgage to get paid, but you had to do what's right for the client.
So I guess what we're saying is that in this environment over here, you really have to look at your numbers and basically try to forecast them out and say, hey, like, this is my income, these are my expenses, and this is where I'm kind of going with this. And if I'm starting to feel like this is not going to be a manageable thing for me, you want to try to get ahead of it right now. Right? You want to try to get ahead of it. You want to try to either sell it, even if you like, I mean, like, we can come up with lots of creative options, which is basically like, hey, for maybe even a younger couple that ended up buying something, maybe they can actually rent out that property and go back to parents or something else like that. Or like you suggested, parts over here. Like if you're stressed out and whatever else like that, like I said, I think like your food and whatever else is going to change your body, but it's going to change your mind at the same time. I think when we really talk about nutrition, a lot of the stuff that get carried away about how I look and physically and whatever else like that, but I think it affects your brain at the same time, right? Like you have to have the right stuff that you're eating and whatever, so your brain can operate in a clear manner.
Absolutely. And what I like to focus on is when a person is stressed, they lose their sleep. And that's exactly when the equation starts to fall apart.
Right.
Because if you're not sleeping well through the night, you're waking up tired. And when you're tired and then you just, whatever is in front of you, you need to eat because your cortisol level shoots right through the roof. Your insulin is high. Your body is not functioning normally the way it should be. Asking somebody to go work out at that time, it really doesn't work because they're so stressed. So what I would recommend is that we need to, stress is everywhere. We cannot leave stress, more or less, it's always there. But what I recommend to everyone is focus on your sleep. If you have trouble sleeping, there are lots of natural solutions. I'm not recommending that you go and take sleeping pills because they have various side effects. What I recommend is that if you're having trouble sleeping, there's natural solutions such as you can use eucalyptus oil in a diffuser and leave it by your bedside, and that will help you calm your mind and calm your body. That will put you to sleep and you can sleep through the night. If you don't have a diffuser, put a couple of drops around your pillow so you can at least be close to it, and it'll help you, the oil will help you calm your body. And if you're thinking about supplements, I would also recommend that if you have access to magnesium supplement, to take magnesium before you go to sleep. So it calms your body, and because stress is there, but once you're calm, you will fall asleep and wake up less tired, or you will at least sleep through the night. And when you wake up, you won't feel that the stress is having a negative impact on your body. So it will allow you to focus on self-care. And then the other things that we talked about stretching, going to sauna, steam room, go exercise, go for a walk outside, they all kind of come into play when your mind is functioning properly. So yes, it is a mindset thing.
Yeah.
But I really stress on the fact that people need to have proper sleep at night.
So it's almost like, you know what, we think about sleep at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So really what you're saying over here is that we got to flip that upside down.
Absolutely.
We got to start with sleep.
Absolutely.
Because we got to get the right amount of sleep, right?
Yeah.
So we got to get the right sleep and good quality of sleep.
Yeah. And the technology is available in everybody's phone. Like you can measure your sleep cycle.
Yeah.
Some people are okay with 8 hours of sleep. Some people need 10. Some people need 5 or 6. You don't want to sleep less than your sleep cycle. You don't want to sleep more than your sleep cycle, because either of those situations will make you feel tired. You just want to sleep at the right amount. And with everybody's smartphone, you can track or smartwatches, you can track your own sleep cycle and know what the sweet spot is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wear a Fitbit. I've been wearing a Fitbit since 2016 or something like that. So I got tons of data.
Yeah.
And every morning I actually go through it and I see what stages of sleep I was in and whatnot. And I'm trying to use that data to improve my sleep. So yeah, like I think that you're right. Like we start off with sleep, and then it's like conditioning your mind first thing in the morning, right? Like getting hydrated, doing your stretching, working out, and like you said, maybe it doesn't have to be like a very intense thing. It could just be, or it could be intense, but it could be just a short thing. It doesn't have to be for like an hour and a half or something else like that. But I think what we're saying is that if you have these basics in place, like what we've been talking about, Varan, for a bit now, is like going back to the basics, right? Because we've been kind of on a runaway train here. So I think that if we go back to the basics of like getting the right amount of sleep, like waking up, getting hydrated, because we get dehydrated while we sleep, getting hydrated, stretching, working out, and then using it, I think that primes our brain to be able to use it at its maximum capacity and clearly, right? And then we could go into the stuff that we're talking about is saying, hey, look at your budget, figure out what side hustle maybe you can come up with too. I know somebody that started detailing cars like after work or something else like that. You know what I mean? Like what other side hustles can you do to kind of move the ball forward here?
To balance the budget.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, like, look, we are in a kind of a weird time right now. And I mean, obviously in economic cycles, it does happen. But the thing is that it's survival of the fittest almost kind of thing, right? So I think if we're conditioning ourselves this way, if we keep a positive mindset about things, and guys, even talking about positive mindset, it might sound really, really weird, okay? But what happens is that even the clients that I actually meet and I interact with, I don't know, and it might sound so weird when I say it. All of the clients I run into that have a positive mindset, I swear they have a better transaction. Every single time, if somebody's mind is in the gutter about the market, their situation, where the market's at, or anything else like that, they're being negative, I swear they have the worst time. They can have the best property on the market, but they will have the worst time because their mindset is not correct. Yeah. So it's like having the correct mindset of moving forward. And like I was saying, we're going through this time right now, but it's not like it's going to be like this forever. So if we can kind of get through this in a good way, like keeping our body healthy and keeping check of our financials, and who cares? I'll add this and then I'll let you guys go on to any kind of other thoughts that you have. But like one of the biggest improvements in my life that happened was because I was a loner, a geek, introvert, like hardcore introvert. No one really wanted to talk to me. And everything changed for me when I stopped caring about what other people thought. That was the biggest shift in my life. So right now, especially, like if you think, and if your actions are dictated by what you think other people think, I think that should be the first thing that you should drop, because so much of your life, I think, would improve if you could just stop doing that.
Absolutely.
100%. Agree. So Shah, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So we talk about the stress, we talk about sleep. So I come across a lot of people when they have all this stress, it's hard to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So they're having alcohol addiction, or they're eating not healthy, they're eating junk food. So what kind of advice you can give to someone who's dealing with this kind of difficulties? I'm sure a lot of these people are dealing with the difficulties. How not to gear towards alcohol or the bad eating habits or drugs or anything else, and focus on keeping your mind straight and get the mind together.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent question. I mean, the way I look at it is that when somebody's so stressed and you tell them about going to the gym or eating healthy, it usually falls in deaf ear and usually doesn't work, because their anxiety level or the cortisol level in the body is so high that these information is not registering. So I usually like to focus on self-care. Like at the end of the day, you live in your body, and this is something that you will live in it forever, for a really, really long time. And for a period of time that you're going through the challenges, if you allow your body to just slide right through and not take care of it, then it will when the economic situation or that person's financial situation improves, that health problem that was caused a couple of years ago is not going to go away.
It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse if it is not taken care of. So I try to talk to them gently to show them the long-term goal, rather than going into the nitty-gritty details of nutrition, workout, 10-minute versus half an hour. You should eat high protein versus high fiber, or
nothing going to go through their head because they're not even listening.
They're not listening, right? So I focus on themselves as focus on self-care. Like if you feel that your muscles are very stiff and your body is hurting, go for a massage, and that will help you relax. Maybe that's the best solution for them, because it will help them relax their mind and body momentarily, so they can think clearly. Yeah. I stress the fact, Hussein and I already talked about, like the stretching and sleeping, keeping your body hydrated. Like these are the basic things, and we can quickly make that shift. So those are the things, lifestyle changes that I focus on, but it really has to start from self-care.
Sounds like easy wins almost, right? Like if you
Absolutely.
can get your water and your sleep right, like those are easy wins to
Yeah.
like build on top of that.
That's exactly it, and I'm glad you said that, because that's really the focus. Is focus on the easy wins, and then once you practice it and get good at it, and you can make it a sustainable ways of your lifestyle, then let's focus on some more advanced stuff.
Kind of like habit stacking.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You build on your habit as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other question is like when someone is stressed, they want to eat some junk food or whatever. How can you control yourself to gear towards more healthy food?
Yeah, it again comes down to making conscious decision. And it is challenging. It is not easy. It's an excellent question that even with my clients that I deal with, like this is a constant reminder. It comes down to accountability. It comes down to being able to express and talk to someone and share your thoughts in terms of why are you feeling anxious, or why is your anxiety level right through the roof, or your stress. Being able to talk to someone that you trust also helps to at least release the pressure. But in terms of eating junk food, I recommend that focusing on food that's high in protein, high in fiber. It keeps the body full, and when your body is full, you will gravitate less toward food that are unhealthy. And it also comes with preparation. You have to prepare your mindset to be able to focus or to eat in that kind of manner. But to reach there, the mind has to be calm.
Yeah. You know, we do talk a lot about like us doing these things and whatever else like that. And I think that for me anyways, I have to have some kind of a goal of where I'm trying to go to, like more of a kind of even a longer term kind of goal of like, what do I want to look? Because like anything that we are really talking about managing your stress, nutrition, or whatever else like that, it's not a short win.
No.
Like
Takes time.
these are things that like, okay, I bought this like collagen protein powder or whatever. Okay, I'm going to try it because I'm nuts. I'll try these things. But it tells me right on the bottle that this is going to take 5 months. Do you know what I mean? So it's like for 5 months. So like your goals, I think, short-term thinking. I think if you think in terms of like your health and what you're trying to do, and like what you said is like you live in your body at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So if you have all these ambitions and things that you want to do, you could easily get slowed down if you don't take care of your body, and whatever you're trying to do can get crushed pretty quickly if you're not able to get up and actively do the things that you want to do.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to, you raised a really good point about creating a goal. And if I may add to it, I would say write down your goal. Don't write down in a pen, in your phone or iPad, like actually write it down.
Yep.
In a pen and paper, take a pen and paper and write down your goal, because that's, and look at it.
Yep.
Review your goal, and so it's more meaningful down the road. Like, okay, this is the goal I set. And you know, we may write down 10 goals, but we may not be able to hit all 10. We may do better. We may, some of them will fall off because of lifestyle changes, but at least you have a vision board.
That's exactly what I was going to add at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Like what you were going to say, because I found that to be very powerful.
It is.
If I just print out on my color printer, like very cheaply, like the things that I want to accomplish or the way I want to look, like maybe I'll print out, I know it sounds cheesy, but I'll print out like some dude that looks jacked and like is living healthy. You know what I mean? I'll put that on. It reminds me that, hey, dude, like you're going over here. One other, and so that vision board really helps. Like even like say like big goals that I want to tackle. Like I actually had them up there. One was a stupid goal. I don't mind sharing with you guys. Like I just really wanted this one watch, and I actually had it on my wall in my office. And as I'm making calls, I'm dealing with my clients, I'm looking at that thing. But it just it activates the law of attraction because it's always in your face. So you write down the goals. And what I learned is that I just don't write it down in a book and I close that book. What I do is I actually write down my goal and I post it on my wall. And if you look at my office, like I have stuff everywhere around me. And especially when I'm looking at the computer, I can actually look up and I can see a vision board of different things that I want to accomplish and stuff like that. So it constantly reminds me of what my mission actually is.
Absolutely. And so the way I see the vision board is whatever the goal may be, in this case, nutrition, fitness, or as the goal could be, I want to be able to properly sleep at night to manage my stress.
Yeah.
It's the vision board it's really the GPS that will guide you to your goal, and however long it may take, but at least the vision board will start the process.
100%.
And you look at it every single day. Keep it in a place that you'll be able to see it. Like some of my goals, I actually have it in my bathroom mirror because every morning I know I'm there and I'll see it.
Yep.
So that's one place I know that I put it there and I see it, and it's a great reminder.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I even kind of heard about it, it sounded so cheesy, right? Like you write down your stuff and you put it everywhere and whatnot, but it just constantly reminds you.
It always gets in you.
Yeah. And then when you're kind of getting off track, like junk food and whatever else like that, like I think even talking about that on this coffee table, I'm probably going to write a note here for myself. And because Ima has very good control. She could open up a bag of chips and have 5 pieces or 10 pieces and roll it up nicely and just leave it alone. For me, I have zero control about doing something like that. So I might have to leave myself a note here and say, hey, dude, like, you know where you're trying to go, and this is not going to be helpful for you.
Or you can say, enjoy the chips, but wake up tomorrow morning or work out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that could be a reminder too.
Yeah. Like, I guess, like, everything that we're talking about is, like, number one, you got to have to take action. Like, like, the first step, I think, to everything is that you have to know that there is a better thing that you could do, and you're going to want to take the action. Yeah. That's what I find with most people and most things is that we could keep talking, and Chris can worry about the cameras dying out. But, like, the thing is that if you're not willing to take that action, then there was no point of doing any of this stuff, right? Exactly. Like, you have to commit to taking action first. And just because you commit to taking action doesn't mean you got to like go from zero to hero. I think a lot of people, when they say I'm going to take action, they have this crazy schedule that they want to start doing at like 5 a.m. or whatever else like that. And we know it's not achievable, right?
Yeah. And I always tell my clients, like I personally like to work out in the morning. They see me working out at like 5 o'clock in the morning. They think like they have to do it. I said, no, you don't. I will create a program, or you have something that you create that's conducive to your lifestyle.
Right.
Like if you're not a morning person, giving you a morning program or you creating a morning workout routine for yourself, that's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like right from the start, we won't go anywhere.
It's a failure right away.
It's a failure.
Yeah.
Right. So it needs to be customized, created, customized to that person's lifestyle.
100%.
Then it will be more sustainable.
Yeah. Awesome. Because we're talking about that, and now I'm curious because I'm probably going to have to join your program. But like, what would that look like? Like someone like me says, hey, Shah, like I need help. Like, what does that look like? What does your intake look like if I come to say I need help?
Yeah. So when I say customization, so that's asking all the basic questions. Like it's think about this as a habit. And you want to make it sustainable. So everybody has different routine, food that they like to eat. So I create customized nutrition plan. Some exercise routines need to be customized because not everybody has enjoyed doing all the exercises or has the fitness ability to do them. So the exercise plan needs to be created based on your exercise ability plus the exercise that you like doing. You want to go out, eat at a restaurant, enjoy with the family. That assistance is provided because these are the crucial moments when somebody could easily fall off. Mm-hmm. So that assistance is there, as well as supplementation. Not everybody needs all the supplements. That's based on some people have hormonal imbalances. Some people also deal with thyroid. These are some of the diabetes. These are some of the common. So the supplements are customized based on the person's health concerns. And of course, weight management, getting stronger, more fit. That's included but all my clients have hands down have told me that the best part of my program that they enjoy is the consistent accountability.
Okay.
Be able to steer them right back to their goal.
Okay.
And they absolutely love that aspect of it.
That's
they see their progress.
Awesome. You know what? Like we're doing this this recording right now and whatnot, but like I think we talked about doing possibly some more follow-up ones.
Yeah.
And I think basically what I'm going to do is I am going to sign up and we're going to do this thing. I'm going to try to take this program on with you as well.
Wonderful.
And let's see what happens. Like at least I could deliver my results maybe in the next month or 2 months and see how it went and give people some real live feedback and we could take it from there.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Any thoughts, guys? Anything left to say that we have not said? Any tips for people that are going through things and, you know, how to just kind of keep them focused and moving forward, like easy things? Maybe they don't need to talk to us. Maybe they're shy to reach out. What can we leave them with?
The mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
Be around with a positive mindset. I think
Good point,
you touched a little bit on it.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
If you're around people that are abusing alcohol, eating the wrong stuff, partying too much, maybe even just, I hate to say it, but bitching about how bad things are out there, maybe you want to avoid these things right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to add more stress to your mind.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I also want to say one thing that it is okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
It is totally okay. I mean, asking for help does not reduce anything. It actually, in fact, elevates yourself.
100%. Yeah. And we're putting this out there, like there's no business attachment to this whole thing, right? Like we're genuinely concerned for people out there. And like, I think people can reach out to any one of us if you need help. I'm not saying that we could solve all your problems, but maybe we could lead you in the right way. Maybe we can have a quick call with you. Maybe we could talk to you or whatever. Like, I think we're doing this here because we want to try to help other people at the same time, right?
Or we can give the right contact to solve the problem.
100%. Like at least it'll be better to connect with somebody and try to take one step of trying to do anything that you could possibly move yourself forward, right? Like the first thing is to take that step and just make contact with anyone, us, somebody else, but make a contact like you said and take that first step and trying to improve whatever your situation is and where you want to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Make sense?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. All right. I really hope that you guys enjoy this. Thank you so much, Shah, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Instagram handle, we're going to put it up, but it is
Shred with Shah.
Shred with Shah. And everyone here should know Varan by now. He gets all the hate for predicting interest rates.
It's coming down.
Okay, there we go. I was going to say we're not going to get that on this one, but I think we just might. All right, guys, until next time, if you guys have any questions, you want to connect with me, my link is going to be below. You can hit it. And I love to talk about real estate. All this other stuff I could chat with you about as well, but my hobby is real estate. So if you want to talk about real estate, you could definitely click that link, talk to me. We'll set up a call. Until next time, guys, remember one thing. Get Cabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.